Owen Pike arrived for his first day at Harbor and Field at 8:20. He was due at 9. He had allowed 40 minutes for a train that runs every 6. So he stood outside for 38 of them, holding a ring binder he had bought himself. Nora Byrne from People met him with 2 paper cups of water. Nora has welcomed about 90 new starters. She covered the handbook, the expenses form, and the fire exits, which in 90 inductions nobody has ever asked a follow-up question about. Then Nora said the sentence. All of them, in their own words, would say the sentence. "Welcome aboard. Ryan will take it from here." Ryan was in a meeting, so Owen was handed to Kim Sable, who holds every key in the building and appears nowhere on the org chart. Kim gave him a badge showing a photograph of him blinking and told him which of the 2 kitchens actually has milk. That is not in the handbook. That is worth more than the handbook. Kim assumed Nora had done the rest. Grace Bell shook his hand by the sneaker shelf and asked what he would be working on. Owen said he wasn't sure. Grace said that sounded like Ryan and wrote it down. That note is the only place in this entire company where that question was ever asked in writing. Then Dylan Frost came past with a prototype sneaker and welcomed him aboard. Warmly. Twice. The second time, he called him Ollie. Dylan assumed Grace had hired him. Grace had not. Nobody had. Owen had been hired by a job posting, a panel of 3, and an offer letter signed by a head of talent who left in June. Owen wrote it all down because Owen's binder is immaculate. By 10:10, it held 4 names, 2 spellings of Nora, 3 conflicting accounts of the milk, and a heading in careful capitals reading, "Things to ask Ryan." Ryan Cole answers questions in the gaps between other questions. He arrived at 11 and gave Owen the only instruction he received that day, or arguably that quarter. "Have a look around, get a feel for the place, grab me later." Then Ryan's 11:15 started. It was 11:04. Nina Pratt had been told the intern was on marketing, which was true, and helping with social, which was not yet. A restricted account needed a form, someone to approve it, and a person in engineering who was at lunch. Making him an admin took 11 seconds. Nina is not careless. Nina was correct about which of those took less time. Sam Whitaker gave him the support tour because Sam gives everybody the support tour, including the man who services the coffee machine. Every number in this building, Sam explained, eventually becomes a person typing a complaint in capital letters. Sam assumed the intern was Nina's. Marcus Hale walked him round Building B and told him the real company is the shelves. Everything else, Marcus said, is a rumor about shelves. Marcus asked who he reported to. Owen said, "Ryan, probably." Marcus wrote nothing down. Marcus writes down only what is his. At 12:30, Owen ate lunch alone in the break room, because the handbook says lunch is at 12:30. Nobody at Harbor and Field eats lunch at 12:30. Nobody has told the handbook. At 1 he went to grab Ryan, as instructed. Ryan's 1 o'clock had become Ryan's 2 o'clock, behind a shut door with a hand-drawn sign on it. This is not a thing Ryan does to interns. It is a thing Ryan's calendar does to Ryan. At 2, Frank Mullen found a problem, which is what Frank is for. Owen was not on a cost center. No manager had signed for him, so finance had nothing to bill. So as far as the system was concerned, Owen did not exist. Frank raised it with people. People replied within 9 minutes that Owen was Ryan's. Owen still had no laptop. Eli Novak did the arithmetic out loud. The restricted intern setup, a ticket, and approval, about a week. The standard account, 4 minutes. Eli gave him the standard account, assuming an intern who needed restricting would have arrived with somebody to do it. Maya Reed showed him a sneaker and explained the heel counter for 20 minutes without stopping once. Owen understood roughly a fifth of it and took down every word, including the swearing. It was the best part of his day, and the only part of it about shoes. Theo Lang is 24, and was the closest thing Owen met all day to someone his own age. Theo gave him the 2 rules that were useful. Say yes to everything for the first month. And if you actually need something done, ask Kim. Owen filed both under things to ask Ryan, which by then had stopped meaning anything and simply become where things went. At 5, Nora's checklist came back complete. 12 ticks: badge, laptop, handbook, fire exits, expenses. 1 field near the bottom asks for reporting manager. Owen had filled that one in himself, in pencil. Ryan Cole, with a question mark. The form went into the file. A filed form is a form that has finished being read. 4 months later, Owen Pike had a desk, a badge, a laptop, an unrestricted account, admin on the social channels, and a project 3 sizes too big that he had said yes to too fast, which was Theo's Rule 1. He had never had a one-to-one because you cannot have a one-to-one with nobody. Nobody had taken him off a team because nobody had put him on one. He was, in a load-bearing sense, still having a look around. Everybody in that building knew exactly whose intern Owen was. It was just never the same somebody. 4 of them called him Ollie.